Hello again. Thanks for clicking the second link for your flipped classroom activity. Now that we have read our article about replacing meat with plants, and we've highlighted evidence to that would support or be against an argument for replacing meat with plants, we're ready to fill out our graphic organizer. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click up in the issue box and you're going to type what the issue is. So we've been practicing forming those issues as a question. So we know that the article is about replacing meat with plants, and they gave us some details about the effects of replacing meat with plants. And so the question is, should Americans stop eating meat and replace it? Replace it with plants. So that's our issue. Now, in order to make your claim, you're going to need to decide if you think that Americans should stop eating meat and replace it with plants, and if you think it should not. So I'm going to write in two different colors. If you are someone that thinks that Americans should stop eating meat and replace it with plants, you're going to follow the blue text. So for our claim that is for this argument, we're going to write, by restating that issue questions, Americans should stop eating meat and replace it with plants. Now, if you don't agree with that, you're going to follow my text in red. And the way that you would write a claim against this issue is you're still restating the question. You're just saying Americans should not stop eating meat and replace it with plants. So now that you have a strong claim, you're going to go down to the next box, which is the A in the race strategy. Answer in your own words. And in this case, for an argument essay, you're going to give a reason for your claim. So if your claim is that Americans should stop eating meat, you're going to write in your own words why. So you're still going to restate that question, and you're going to follow me in blue. Americans should replace meat with plants because, and this is when we need to go back into our article. So remember, I highlighted in yellow the evidence of why we should replace meat with plants. So you can see in yellow, I've highlighted the quote about you can make more protein from plants out of the same amount of land. Also highlighted that replacing beef with plants made enough food to meet the dietary needs of 163 million extra people. And then we go down here and it says that if farmers change from raising dairy cows and pigs to growing plants, 60 more million people could be fed. So those three quotes talk about how more people could be fed. So I'm going to go back to my organizer tab here, and I'm going to say Americans should replace meat with plants because more people could be fed off the same amount of land. So then I need to go down to my cite evidence section, and I've got to provide a quote from the text that will support my reason here. And I'm going to start with an evidence sentence starter, and this one I'm going to pick is according to the text. So again, you're following me in blue if you agree that Americans should replace meat with plants. According to the text, I've got to add my comma there and a quotation mark, and then I just go back to the text and I pick a quote that I want to use. And so I'm going to pick this quote here, and I'm going to just try to highlight and copy and paste here. And I don't think it will let me do that while I'm screencasting for you. It will. So I'm going to go, I've copied it, and I'm going to go back to my graphic organizer here. And I'm going to paste it in there. Now, this might happen to you as well. It just pasted the entire article. So I'm going to go back in and try to make sure that I'm just highlighting this text here. So that's in blue. We're going to try this again. Okay, there it is. I'm not worried about the fact that my font changed here, because when you type your paragraph, you're going to be able to fix it. But I am going to change it into blue so that you know that that's supporting it. So now I've got my evidence and my citation according to the text. So now let's go back for the people that think that we should not replace meat with plants. And we're going to start our sentence with Americans should not replace meat with plants, because, and then we'll go back into our article, and we highlighted the against evidence in blue. So going back down to the last section, I think a strong argument against it is that there are, meat has other nutrients that plants do not have. So even though plants are healthy to eat, you're still going to miss out on key nutrients if you're only eating a plant diet. So that's a problem that needs to be solved. So I'm going to highlight that quote here so that we can put it in our evidence section in a minute. But restating it in my own words is going to look like this. Americans should not replace meat with plant because meat has important nutrients that we cannot get from plants only. And then I'm going to go down in my next box for evidence. And since I've already copied that text, I just need my evidence sentence starter, and then I'm ready to paste. So we use the evidence sentence starter according to the text in our argument 4. So I'm going to use a different ones, and I'm going to say based on what I read. And then I'm going to paste my quote right into this square. And there I've got my quote. So the last thing I have to do when I have my evidence is I have to elaborate on how that evidence supports my claim. So if you are arguing that we should replace meat with plants, I'm going to explain how my quote supports my claim. And if you go back up, you can remember that our claim was Americans should replace meat with plants because more people could be fed off the same amount of land. So when we are elaborating, we're going to use an elaboration sentence starter. And I'm going to say this quote proves that replacing meat with plants would result in being able to feed many more people. Okay, and then I'm done for the argument 4. So if you are someone that is going to make a claim for replacing meat with plants, you can stop this video now. Now, if I am against it, I am going to elaborate by saying this quote proves that replacing meat with plants would result in people missing out on